meet once a month. We can hear from them, know what's happening in our town. Community can ask questions. Every month we have a guest speaker. The guest speaker is from a local organization or agency in our town, and the purpose of that is so that we can update the community on what's happening in Valley Center and the community can ask questions. Today we will have Pastor Trope will be speaking to us today, and next month, April, Joe Napier will be giving us an update from Valley Center Fire. In May, we'll hear from Gary Orant from the Valley Center Municipal Water District. And in June, we'll hear from Tom Stinson with Marie Waldron's office. And we meet every month at this time, second Wednesday, 8 to 9:30, with the exception of July, August, and December when we go dark. So those are our meetings up until our first break of summer, and we'll announce speakers later this time. Bill?
I'm up.
You're up.
All right. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
I moved to Valley Center, how long ago was it? 17, 18 years ago now. I can't believe it. I raised my kids here and you know, went to these parades and did all this kind of stuff and never thought I'd be up here, you know, to a group like this talking about the parade, you know, type of thing. And Trina asked me a month ago to come here. I didn't even know this was what I was going to talk about. I'm going to talk about today. But first of all, I want to tell you I'm really pleased to announce we are going to have a parade. Okay, and there was some doubt about that actually. But what I do is I'm going to back up a minute and explain a major factor in why Ridgeview Church decided to step forward and become the organizing group for the parade this year. In the amount of years I've lived here now, I've seen Valley Center change. You know, I was here, I got to see the old Valley Center a little bit. I moved here about 3 months before the high school opened. Okay, before they had I live out by the high school. Before they had a senior class, they didn't have a senior class the first year, right? And so the traffic on Colgrave was very different. The big argument in town was about whether a grocery store should come or not, right? And people were really upset about the idea of a store coming, and then we never saw the gaming coming, and what that did to the roads and all that kind of stuff, and it brought a lot of uncertainty and a lot of change to our community, you know, but another way Valley Center's changed in the time I've been here is I think it's more of a bedroom community than I've ever seen. It's becoming, and is I would say, in large measure, a bedroom community. Many sleep here, but they increasingly don't live here in the sense in which I would define it, and how I would define a community. Okay, because if you think about what makes a community, I think the sense of community in Valley Center is eroded, and this had a bearing on our decision to organize the parade, actually. Because the community is people living together, people knowing each other. It's our kids, you know, going to the same schools. It's our kids getting together and the parents getting together, the families together on the sports fields and the band halls and all this kind of stuff. And us kind of doing life together, you know, and being with each other and all that kind of stuff. And it's worshiping together in the respective faith communities. It's patronizing our local businesses, seeing each other in the stores and all that kind of stuff. And I think all this is eroded. Increasingly, kids are going to school down the hill, they're playing in club sports down the hill, everything is just kind of moving down the hill, but we sleep here and we spend our weekends here, unless we're out in the desert or something like that, right? And so one of the reasons we took on the parade and its surrounding, and to the parade and have had discussions with people that are doing the surrounding activities, is to really give us a nudge back, to use this event and the surrounding activities as a nudge back to create a sense of community again, to have collective shared experiences together, you know, to rally around shared values and to make memories together, you know, and so we took it on because Valley Center has changed, and another reason we took it on is because Valley Center will change. Okay, change is coming. It definitely is. Have you seen the big pit they've dug over by the golf course over here? You know what's going in there, right? I don't know how it works, but there's a septic treatment plant being built out there, and because of that, the old Conine Dairy is going to be, I can't remember how many houses, it's hundreds, right? Yeah, 310, okay, and it's just starting to change. Growth is coming, more people, more businesses, and Valley Center historically, the time I've been here, has been one of those towns when somebody moves here, they say nobody else should move here, the door closed behind me, right? You know, and no one else is allowed. I'm in, nobody else is allowed, right? Like it or not, it's what's real, okay? Change is coming, growth is coming, and with change comes a threat to the town losing its history and its identity. And so with the chamber very understandably saying, you know what, we've done our time organizing this parade. They did it for, I think, 4 years, I think, and is that right, Sue? How many years did you guys do it? Was it 4 years?
Well, I did it for 4 years, but
okay.
It's been done by chambers for years.
Okay, and so they decided to take a pass on doing the heavy lifting. It's a lot of work, and you know, the fundraising, the organizing, the pulling, just the whole pulling off of the event is really hard. But it's an event that's rooted in the history of the town, you know, and we simply didn't want to see it go away as the town changes in the future, you know, but here's the deal, you know, as we enter discussions with the service clubs and the other groups that do the hard work to pull together all the events that surround the parade, and it's a lot of hard work. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of sacrifices of time. There's businesses that suffer by the people who organize it because they neglect their businesses in the season while they're preparing a lot of this kind of stuff. Families get strained because daddy and mommy or daddy or mommy are going to another meeting tonight, or they're doing this or that, they're going to a photo shoot, they're doing this or that, they're out in the community. And I've talked to some of these people and asked them why they do it. And what they tell me is they do it because they feel like it's worth it for the community, okay? And they also tell me that they do it because it's worth it because a lot of these service clubs, what ends up happening through the activities that surround the whole week, really, and the main weekend, what happens is a lot of money gets raised by these organizations, and then they turn around and they do really great stuff, mostly for kids in the community, through scholarships and other types of aid that they provide people in the community, and say that they go, you know what, it's a lot of work, it's hard, but it's worth doing, you know, and so as we began to talk about coordinating our efforts, and as we came to agree that we wanted to work together and make a unified event happen in the community, a week of events, one thing became really crystal clear as we talked, and it was this, that the name, the brand, if you will, if you know the marketing idea, needed to be updated, okay? And if we were going to work together, and if we were going to go and take these events into the future, it was decided that we had to do what has been done a whole bunch of times. I went into the Historical Society when we first took this on, and one of the guys in there, I was asking him about the history of all this, and one of the guys, he said, well, you want to see the archive? And they have a file. He pulled the file out, and he let me just sit there and read it. It was really cool. I mean, like it was like 1972 or something like that. It was like talking about Sherry Bates in the parade, you know, or something like that. And it was like, oh my gosh, these people that aren't high schoolers anymore, you know, are mentioned in this thing, and you got a sense of the history of the whole thing. But what I also saw was that the name had been changed a bunch of times. It hasn't always been the same name. It's changed a bunch of times over history. So I looked at the archive and saw that since 1950 or whatever it was, when the whole thing first got kicked off, it had been changed a bunch of times. And so because our goal is to bring unity to the town, we've decided to lose the word Western from the previous name, okay? And we've done it for many reasons, but let me give you some of the main reasons, okay? The first one is this. There's 9 events that we have planned for that week. We've added events. We're going to hear about those in a couple minutes. But only 3 of the 9 events have anything to do with any kind of Western theme, okay? They're not Western themed. Only a few of them are. The word Western, I think, places an emphasis on the past, okay? And while we want to do events that make a glance to the past, the event needs to be a glance to the past, I think it needs to be more about us looking each other in the eye and saying, yeah, there was the past, but we are Valley Center today. We are this town today. Let's not miss today. because this is us. We are part of this town's history, but it's us today. And the word Western also has potentially negative connotations, okay, with the tribal communities. It just does. And here's the thing. And I've talked to some of the leaders in these communities, and we're in agreement that they're a part of the BC tribe. They're a part of our tribe, and we're a part of their tribe. There's this tribe called Valley Center, and we want to see this be a completely unified event. I'm going to talk to you in a second about some of the ways we're going to do that, make that happen, and nudge it in the right direction in the parade. But simply put, we believe Valley Center Days is a better name. Just lose the Western out of the whole idea. And here's the motto. Valley Center Days, embracing the future and honoring the past. That's the idea that we're working with. That's the idea that we're unifying under. And so in a couple of minutes, you're going to hear commercials from some of the organizers of the other events. But let me describe for you the Valley Center Days parade. Okay, the 2016 parade, and what we are planning for it. Okay, the theme is Standing Tall, One Nation Under God. Standing tall, one nation under God. The unifying slogan or soundbite is Standing Tall. Okay, as you hear the script in the parade, that will be just dripped through the whole thing. Standing tall, standing tall, standing tall. Okay, and the Grand Marshal is Hank Weldon. You guys know Hank? He's like 9,400 years old or something like that. Hank is an amazing guy. Okay, he was a World War II frogman. You know what that is? This is a precursor to the Special Forces, the SEALs, and those kind of guys. Hank was a guy who some of the stuff these guys did, they'd put on a pair of flippers, a mask, and a snorkel, and take a magnetic bomb, stuff like that, and go swim into an enemy harbor and just put it on the side of the ship and then swim away and hold their breath so they didn't have bubbles coming up. I mean, it was nuts what those guys did. And then he did something like 20, 30 years with LAPD after that, and after his career in the Navy, and he's an outstanding guy, a guy that we want to recognize and honor. We're going to push this idea more to the Memorial Day holiday and less about the past. Okay, more about honoring those who have served, and especially those who have given their lives for our freedoms. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a marshal's posse made up of former World War II and Korean War veterans, and so we've made some changes to the parade that we hope will bring more people out than have been coming in the past few years. I've been an announcer for several years, and I remember thinking over the last couple of years, why do they just ask the same people all the time? And so we're going to mix it up this year, and what we're hoping to do by mixing up who the judges are, the announcers are, and stuff, we hope to better reflect the diversity of our town and unite our town in a better way. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have two-person announcing teams instead of single announcers. And let me describe to you how just that aspect of it's going to work, and how we're using who we're selecting, who we've asked to be announcers to try to draw more people generationally and culturally out of the community for it. So at the corner over here, two of the high school teachers, Jeff Tuttle and Drew Cordick, okay, will be the announcing team over here on the corner, and then with them, sitting with them as a judge, will be Stephanie Spencer. She's the vice chair of the Rincon tribe. Again, so she will be there. You guys, let's just be straight up. As I was looking at how this worked before, we were going to the tribes and the casinos for money, but we weren't integrating them into the event itself. That's not how it was working. We're going to change that this year. And so Stephanie is going to be the judge over there. And by the way, can we give Rincon a round of applause? $10,000. I met with them yesterday, and
they did the 10,000.
They did the 10,000, and isn't that awesome? And I met with Stephanie and with Alfonso Cole yesterday. Just outstanding human beings. Just incredible people. Just really enjoyed being with them. And so it's just an incredible thing. And then in front of the bank, we're going to have this girl I barely know, Lauren Troke, my daughter, and her fellow ASB, 8th grade ASB president, co-president, Kenzie Olivo. Okay, they are co-presidents of the 8th grade class at the middle school. They do assemblies all the time. They speak in front of large groups of people all the time at the school. They do an outstanding job. Why couldn't we have a couple of middle school kids that we trust? Why couldn't we have them be announcers in the parade? And we're hoping the middle school kids will want to go and be in front of the bank with their families, right? So the high school kids will have a place to go with some of their favorite teachers. And then we're going to have out there with those two girls and make sure they stay under control. Although I'm not sure she's going to. They may have to keep her under control. It's Tina Villalobos from the high school. If you know Tina, you know what I'm talking about. And she's an outstanding person. I mean, she's just really a great gal and a lot of fun. And then out in front of Shoemaker Realty, we're going to have 2 pastors from the community out there. So we're hoping people from their churches will come out and be there. Okay, it's going to be John Luna from Horizon and Dave Woznicki from Valley Center Community Church. And with them will be Phil Bell from the Valley Center Fire District, okay, the board. So he'll be out there with them. And then at Miller Road, it will have guys that represent a younger generation of this town, but with young families. We're going to have Travis Shane and Trent Stroh. You know him?
Yeah.
Met him before? And Trent is I think a retiring deputy, actually out of now because of medical issues. But those 2 guys, they have a lot of friends and stuff. They're young families. They grew up in this town. They know the history and all this kind of stuff, and they'll just do an outstanding job. And with them is going to be Robert Suarez from the San Pasqual tribe as a judge. Robert, I haven't met Robert yet. I've only talked to him, on the phone. But he's the guy that bought Shane Family Fitness, and I heard a story about him. Okay, that just made me want to select him, and it was that he is giving free memberships to the gym to the youth in the San Pasqual Res as long as they maintain a B average. And so every quarter they got to come in with their report cards and they got to show him that they're still maintaining their grades, and he gives them a free membership in his gym. And isn't that awesome? He wants to give back. He wants to be a role model to these kids. And he's doing something practical to do that. And it's like, let's get that guy out there. And I'm thinking those kids that bring those report cards are going to want to go be near him. It's just a thought, And then over at Canyon Road, we've got Dave Ross and Jack DeLessio. Probably don't know Jack, you know Dave? But I mean, this is called Curmudgeon Corner, okay? Because then we have Chris the Woodcutter Marslick, okay? Those 3 guys together. That's just going to be a riot, okay? And that's over at Canyon Road at the Bend, and then there's this long stretch at the end, Valley Center Road and Lilac. We'll have a station where they've always had it, but in this long stretch of road, we're going to do something that we hope will make people be motivated to fill in that gap in the parade route. And here's what we're going to do: for the first time ever, we're going to have a Spanish language announcing station. Okay, there's an awful lot of people in our community whose kids are in our schools, but whose parents don't speak English very well, don't understand it very well. Why don't we include, if we're going to be a unifying force in this community, let's have a Spanish language station. I haven't staffed that yet. I have 2 names written down here, but they're some of the bilingual teachers at the high school and the middle school, or the elementary schools. And now somewhere between Canyon and Lilac, okay? But we're going to include all the diversity of our community, and then at the corner would be Rita Contreras. She was my soccer mom years ago for one of the teams I coached, and she's a San Pasqual tribal member and works at Valley View Casino, and she's good on a mic, and she's going to be paired up with someone she works with and that I know very well. Used to be on our church staff, Jessica Reedon. They both are on microphones all the time at work. They're good and they're fun people. And then with them will be Diane Conaway as a judge at the end of the route, and she's the one that does so much with the band boosters and all that. Okay, so that's the lineup. And our intention is by switching it up to be able to pull people to this. And we believe that what will happen is if the parade becomes better populated with people, all the other events it's like when the tide comes in, all the boats rise. Everything else will benefit, because we're gonna be plugging all the other stuff in our script and all that kind of stuff, getting people to the rodeo, getting them to the other things that are going on. You wanna hear kind of how I envision the parade beginning? How long do I have, Trina?
You have a half hour,
So what does that mean?
8:45.
Another half hour?
Not enough.
8:45. I don't want to go that long, I promise. Let me just tell you how it's going to work. It's something along these lines. You know, the script will go something like, "Welcome to the 2016 Valley Center Days Parade. Today we celebrate our community, but more importantly, on this Memorial Day weekend, we celebrate veterans for their service, especially those who gave their lives for the freedoms that we enjoy." And then we're going to have the announcers as the first unit comes, as the color guard comes. To be stand tall, ladies and gentlemen, stand tall. One nation under God, and get everybody up, okay? And we're going to have the color guard followed by Uncle Sam on stilts. JJ on stilts, okay? He's getting a new Uncle Sam costume, okay? So he'll come standing tall, walking down, and then I'm gonna have them stand, remove their hats. Everybody's going to do the Pledge of Allegiance as the flag comes by, and the announcers will lead in that. And then I'm going to ask them. We're going to ask them to stay standing out of respect for our Grand Marshal and his posse. As they come by, they'll be introduced, and we even have one guy and we need people. Okay, if you know veterans that should be invited to be a part of the posse, please let us know so we can extend an invitation to them. There's one guy flying down from the Bay Area. He's never been to Valley Center. They'd never heard of Valley Center before. His daughter was doing a Google search. She wanted to find some things her 84-year-old dad can participate in to be honored for his service in the Korean War. And he was a decorated soldier in the Korean War, and she was just looking for something. She found our stuff, our thing on the Google search, and they're coming. They're flying down. She's packing Dad up, and we're gonna put him in our parade. Isn't that awesome? So we're gonna have all these people, and so that's the tone we're trying to set and stuff. And then there's gonna be a whole bunch of other stuff, and that's what we want to do just in the remaining time. It's just I want to just highlight, and there's people here to give commercials for each aspect of the thing. It's Saturday before is when it's going to start. The whole thing will kick off the Saturday before. And Stuart, why don't you tell us what's going to happen the Saturday before? Stuart's from the chamber.
This is what I was told anyway. Saturday first, we're gonna have our first annual Valley Center Day picnic up at Adams Park. Time and fees, that kind of stuff has still to be determined. We're still in the process of planning it. We're looking at doing a pit barbecue. Our own Charlie Smith, our mayor, will be one of the cooks. The whole part of this is going to be the mayor's finale, so all the mayor candidates will be there. We'll choose the mayor that day, so it'll be all circled around the mayor's candidates going to kick off for the Valley Center Western Days, or Valley Center Days event. We'll have Eric Jockson will be there doing from Big East Sound, promoting his music, new venue, and doing that for everybody. We're looking at doing a bunch of different games, probably a horseshoe tournament, probably having the pool open and doing some kind of a pool event and that kind of thing. So the whole park, the whole community be invited. We'll get everybody down there and kick off the whole week, starting out, and make it, all start with the community and end with the community. That's what I was hoping it goes. With Bill's parade and all the events over at the community center with the rodeo and
Okay, so the Valley Center Mayor's Picnic will be sponsored by the chamber, and then the next day I believe there's an event with Vaqueros. Is that right, Pat? Are you going to be the one talking about that, or somebody else?
Will we talk about it now?
Yeah, right.
I'm the new El Presidente of the Valley Center Vaqueros, and we're going to have on Sunday, what day is that?
The 22nd.
The 22nd, we're having an old-timer show, which is run by the young riders of the Vaqueros. They'll organize it, they'll run the PA, and they'll do announcing and set up all the games. And it's open to over 18, over 39, I think it is. Over 39. It's a Jack Benny kind of thing. And those who remember Jack Benny. Anyway, he was left hand football.
You're dating yourself.
In the games on horseback.
On horseback. So it's at the new arena on Vesper Road, Parks and Rec. I'll speak a little bit later maybe about it. But it'll kick off probably 9 o'clock, 9 to 1 approximately. And it's just a good, fun thing to come out and support the older people that can still ride. So there's a foot race, and you have to run, with an egg on a spoon, and then there's a sit-a-buck, you have to sit on a dollar, horseback, So hopefully everybody will show.
It'll give everybody a reason to go out and see the new parkland too, the park, the heritage has too. Yeah, the paramedics are just across the road. So it's pretty easy. Or CAL FIRE, I guess it is. And then on either Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, to be determined, okay, there's going to be an event at Valley Center High School. Okay, at Valley Center High School every year, towards the end of the school year, does something called Jag Wars. If you have kids at the high school, if you've had them there, you know what that is. It's a team competition. It's really a lot of fun. The kids, they form teams and they do things like they play dodgeball and stuff like that. And it's this big. I think it lasts a whole week, right, Mary, and something like that. And it's just a ball, and it's just really a lot of fun. So what we're going to do at Valley Center High School on one evening is we're going to have Valley Center Wars, okay? And it's team competitions. We're asking, like I'm going to be asking the deputies to form a team so that they can go up against the firefighters. Come on, and then and I've already talked to some firefighters about it, and they say game on, So just say it, LT, and so.
I think law enforcement should stand by as the.
All that's going to do is confirm what the firefighters think about you guys if you don't compete. Okay, so just getting different groups of the community, young and old alike,
That's more fair.
to come out there and just do a bunch of stuff. We're going to have bubble soccer. You don't know what bubble soccer is? Google it. It's just amazing. We have a bubble soccer set already. You actually go in balloon and like balls. And you try to play soccer, and there's this rebound effect, and you go rolling across inside your ball.
Are there age groups?
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. We're going to do a bunch of stuff like that, and the high school's going to put that on. Okay. And then on Wednesday, I don't think anybody from the library's here, but this is the centennial of the Valley Center Library. And believe it or not, it started on a bookshelf in a general store. Okay, and this is the 100-year anniversary of the library, and they did an event here last year that was very well attended, and they're going to do that again as a part of this week-long celebration. A lot of stuff for the kids, especially younger kids, at that night on Wednesday, and then of course on Friday will be the kickoff of the Stampede Rodeo, and who's going to talk about that? Okay. Billy? Say something about it. We only have like 3 more minutes, so you better get going.
Well, basically, the Stampede Rodeo, everybody probably knows that we're in town. My name's Billy Wagner. It's a volunteer.
This is put on by the Optimist.
This is put on by the Optimist. This is a volunteer situation. All of our proceeds is a nonprofit. We're probably one of the last nonprofit rodeos in existence. Everybody else is typically making money. And one of the things about it, with the Optimist involved, it does go back to our children of this community. It goes back to the community center. We try to help out the community center. And basically, we're always out there trying to volunteer for the community and get it taken care of. So what better way to do than to throw it back at our kids? And that's where we're trying to do it. Yeah, we have some sponsorships. This year our sponsors are, it's a little bit trying this year. Some of our bigger sponsors that have been with us for 15 years are kind of cutting back and weaning out just like everybody else. We also look for volunteers. We're trying to find volunteers that can come out and help us set this up. We're one of the last rodeos that actually sets up in a field. I mean, we're out there in the hayfield if you're familiar with it. Most places have their own arenas, have their own bleachers. We're setting this all up from the ground up. Mr. Belichick is more generous to let us use this property, but we see that with what Bill said, that's going away. We're going to start these open places. We're going to start expanding and building out. And with that being said, we're going to be hunting new locations, to do this. And it's a little different. The Cowboys come to our event because they're camping out under the stars. They go to Lakeside, they're on concrete. They're in a city. Out here, they just enjoy. We get a lot of participants just because of the fact that they're out in the hayfield with their dogs and their families, and So it's a kind of a great event, you know, they come from a long ways away to ride in our rodeo. But with that being said, you know, we do, Rincon helps us out a lot with sponsorships. They've stepped up, and I'd like to give the appreciation to them for doing that.
Okay, you're done.
All right. But thank you, everybody, I appreciate the time.
And then there's the Rotary with the pancake breakfast. Why don't you tell us about the pancake breakfast?
Hi, I'm Danette.
It's on Saturday morning before the
Saturday
break.
morning from 7 to 10 is our
Out in front of the deli shopping center.
Right, we'll be set up over there. We've been doing it for many years. We look forward to doing it. And it's really fun because we actually get to see everybody that comes in the community for the parade. So it's really enjoyable to do. So the food is great. We're all out there cooking, and so please attend. I don't know the price to tell you yet because we haven't actually discussed it, but it'll be very affordable for the whole family. So we look forward to having everybody out there.
Great, thanks to that. And where does the money go?
Oh, sorry. And the money from our, the proceeds all go into our fund for scholarships for our high school graduating seniors in Valley Center.
Great. And then, so then the rodeo carries on after the parade on Saturday, right? And then that wraps up, and then there's a roping competition at the rodeo grounds on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
After the rodeo is the festival.
Oh, I'm sorry, the festival, I forgot about the festival, yeah. Well, after the parade is the festival, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, after the parade is the festival over at the Park and Rec at the community center, thank you. And so that's going on with all the booths and all that kind of stuff, and then of course the rodeo is right next door, and then there's the roping competition on Sunday, and then where's Larry Boy? Right there. Tell us about what's happening on Monday, the last day of the events.
Okay, so this,
I'm sorry?
Did Ron want to talk about the festival?
Is there anything else to say?
I'll get up later.
okay, all right, so
Not in your time.
part of the deal's always been that this has kind of become Valley Center Day, right? I mean, the thing's been getting shorter and shorter. We've never had any events on Monday. So we went to look for an event on Monday, and so for the first time, we're gonna have the Western Cow Dog Challenge in the rodeo grounds. They generously let us use the rodeo grounds, so we're gonna have a cow dog challenge.
What is that, Larry?
The National Cow Dog Association is a national association of guys that use dogs in their normal business to herd cattle. So what they do is, this is a nationally sanctioned show. It's got $2,000 of added money through sponsors. So dogs are coming from as far away as Montana and Wyoming because they get national points at this show. So you're gonna see some of the best dogs in the nation moving cattle through obstacles in an arena. So the handler will be at one end, whistle for his dog to go get 2 or 3 cows, run them through obstacles, and then load them in a trailer. So it's a very interesting thing to come watch. I've competed in them a bunch of times. You're gonna see some great dogs, some great handlers, and it goes back to, you know, how you actually work cattle on a cattle ranch. So it's spectator friendly. You can come sit in the arena and be there all day. So come see the cattle on town.
So it's all day Monday, it's day,
Huh?
it's during the day.
It's all day. It's
We'll be getting a schedule of events out under this banner.
There's different classes, so it'll be novice dogs and then all the way to pro dogs. And so, you know, the young dogs will start in the morning, but it'll be 9 to 4 roughly, and you can come at any time and watch some of the best dogs around. $5 to get in.
Okay.
So the whole week is not devoid of Western things. It's honoring the past, but it's also embracing the future, and it's us looking each other in the eye and saying, we are Valley Center today. And then what our intention is, with this name, and kind of everything associated with it, is we are in the process of setting up a nonprofit to which this name will be gifted and everything associated to it with. Our vision for that is we have the Chamber of Commerce in this community that promotes business, right? We have groups like the Valley Center Community Aid Group that meets immediate needs for people if their home burns down or they can't make their rent or something like that because there's illness in the family or something like that. And then in the center, what we want to do is create a nonprofit organization that would maybe work in conjunction, I haven't talked to you about this, but to help out Park and Rec in some ways, and the school districts in some ways, and just do put on cultural things like we're talking about. In the middle would be this other group that would be promoting cultural, educational, and social activities within the town of Valley Center. And they would be the group that would be looked to in the future, because we have to find new ways of doing business. It can't be just, hey, who wants to do it this year, right? We need to establish something, and so that's what we're doing, and we're establishing something that will take us into the future, and hopefully this town's going to have a really bright future. So thanks for your time, and thanks for coming out today, guys.
Okay, we're gonna, first I'm gonna let Ron speak real quick about the festival, and then we'll go into the emergency service portion.
My name's Ron Johnson. I'm from the Valley Center Optimist Club. We support the rodeo, and this is the second year that we've been doing the festival at the community center. We had a great turnout last year. We're looking forward to having as big a turnout, if not bigger, this year. And again, we work in coordination with everybody that is doing anything during the week. Everything we do is for the kids of the community. If you've ever heard anything about the Optimist Club, the main purpose of the Optimist Club is to promote good citizenship within the children of the community and to fundraise to go ahead and support the children of the community. We fundraise to the amount of almost $50,000 a year that we turn back to the kids of the community. We don't turn anybody away. I think I was the president a couple of years ago for 2 years, and I've been a member for 20 years. And I think there's only been one person that we've ever turned away for money. So that's a pretty good record. Thank you.
I'm gonna ask again.
That's the case, we're justified.
All right, now we're going to have our emergency section. Joe's not here. He said he was coming, so maybe something came up from Valley Center Fire. So we'll start with Jose Galano from CAL FIRE.
Hi, I'm Captain Jose Galano from CAL FIRE on Webster Road. Let's see, nothing much going on. We're still issuing burn permits and going with all that. We are going to be starting our DSI inspections. We're in the defensible space, so we should have 2 pickup trucks running around here doing inspections. We are going into transitional fires, which means El Nino's kind of gone, and we're going to start opening up the fire season. So they're looking into April to restaff our stations, the 3 that they closed, which is Valley Center, Del Dios, and Flint Springs down in Oklahoma. So that's about it that's going on right now. So.
Who plowed up the whole area of trees there on Colgrave Road? Do you know that?
The owner, as far as I know, but I don't know the company that did it.
They actually put down and put a couple signs up, so so they're advertising their business. So when you drive by, you can see a couple signs.
Yeah,
Right next to the street. But yeah, it was pretty cool. If anybody saw them, they would just take the tree down and shred it. One big.
I don't know, I saw the property.
Are they gonna do the rest of them, do you know?
I believe so. It's probably real expensive. They were looking at different options last year on how to get rid of that grove. So I know they were talking about bulldozing it and burning everything down, and then somehow they found this guy. And he does, really fast work from, it looked like he was doing like 10, maybe 12 acres a day. So he was moving. And I think that whole lot is 600 acres total. Yeah, so don't know when he's gonna get the rest of it done.
If you ever seen a Davy tree get out there shredding his branches, this thing's like the size of a semi-truck shredding 10 trees at one time.
He knocks them over, and then it starts at the base and works his way all the way through and just keeps going.
So is it still, can we still do burning? Is it still
Yes,
season to do
we are
burning?
still burning till 3 o'clock, so we can get your permits and we'll do the inspection if need be. And with transition, so I'm looking probably toward the end of April, they'll probably start shutting us down till 10 o'clock, and then once the heat starts coming in, we'll probably shut down completely. So not sure when that's gonna be, it's all up to the weather, but as of right now, we're still allowing burning.
Thank you, President.
You're welcome.
Next up is Lieutenant Vickery from the Sheriff's Department.
6 months now, so just getting my feet wet, enjoy being up here. Since I've been here, one of the things I've been stressing to downtown is the staffing in Valley Center, and that the community needs more deputies, to respond for quick response times and stuff, and they've heard that. It's encouraging. I think in the new fiscal year, we're looking at probably getting some more deputies for the station, which would be great for everybody. So with that, I think the plan moving forward is to have some more proactive type enforcement going on, guys, instead of just reacting to the calls, but it'll give us a chance to actually go out and address problem areas in the community, and rely on you folks to let us know what some of those are and what your concerns are. So, any questions about anything that's been?
Yeah, is there anything community can do to help support you in your request?
Well, I say as far as our request for more staffing, or
Yes.
Just, I mean, when you talk to the elected officials and stuff, it's always let them know, hey, Valley Center could use more. Everybody wants, all the communities, all the unincorporated areas in the county are fighting for more deputies. That's just so it's the fact of life, and everybody has their own reasons for it. I think, so anytime you talk to them, hey, we could always use more we are one of the communities right now, we don't have proactive, community-oriented deputies that are able to go out and do things and be at meetings like this, and our guys are mainly responding to the incidents instead of being able to take a proactive approach. But it looks, like I said, it's very encouraging. I think by the summertime, I think we're going to get there, and we'll have a team finally for Valley Center that can go out and address stuff proactively. So.
Does it help to do a written request? I mean, do the supervisors actually see these things? Or?
Well, I think Supervisor Horn lives in the area, correct? So he's fully aware. I mean, I don't. So he knows. I mean, it can't hurt. It's always. Listen, I'm not going to. Anytime anybody wants to write, any of the elected or anybody and say, hey, we would love more deputies. Absolutely. I mean, more fire, more police. Everybody wants that. So it's. And I think that, but honestly, I think they've heard that. And a lot of it goes to, the board will decide if we're going to get more deputies for the department. The department has listened to us, and I've taken that from the folks I've talked to stress to the sheriff, hey, we want those deputies now. And as I said, I can't promise you that that's going to happen. It's very encouraging. I can't, I foresee it happening. I'm almost positive it's going to happen. So, and that'll be sometime in the middle of summer is when we're doing the next fiscal year. So,
was there still going to be a new station that I heard over in Fallbrook going to be built by 15 area?
That's in that new development that's going up to 15. That's part of once that's all finalized, and part of one of the things they make the developers do is build a station, and we'll staff it accordingly, but I think that's a long ways out.
Still up, yeah.
I'm hoping I'm still around because I live in Temecula, so and I don't want to go south of Valley Center anymore. I want to stay Fallbrook, Valley Center, north towards Temecula is where. So if they built that station, I'd be if I have to leave Valley Center at some point, that's where I'd be lobbying for. But that's the plan. I don't know too much more about that. Any questions? I mean, we had a homicide last week. Was everybody aware of that? Read that in the news? And there's people in custody on that. It seems like it was pretty isolated, as is what I have experienced with most of the violent crime in your community, in the Valley Center community, is that it isn't random acts out and about. It seems to be pretty isolated, I don't think you have to run around worrying about those type of things happening as you drive around through the community. A lot of these things are people bringing things upon themselves, the violent crime stuff that we see. So.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, now we're going into the 60-second part of pitch. If you said you wanted to say something, I will call your name. Pat, are you going to say something additional than what you had talked about?
All I wanted to say was that, once again, I'm Pat Helly, president of Valley Center Vaqueros. We have a 501c nonprofit young rider education group, and we want to thank Parks and Rec for being our big brother and allowing us to migrate from Airy Park to the corner here to now to Vesper Road. We're charged with maintaining the property under the current status, and they provide us with a method of cutting grass, you know, some equipment and some infrastructure. And so we want to ask the community just to support us as Parks and Rec, and the county tries to find a way to have a more centralized location of sports. Everybody's seen the pictures in the paper, the drawings and the concepts of what could happen at Vesper Road. And we just want to be part of it, and we're trying to keep the horse culture within Valley Center and educate kids, you know, the safest way to ride, that kind of thing. So I just want to say thanks to Parks and Rec and the county.
Great. And Stuart?
I'll be on multiple faces here today. With the chamber, first of all, I want to thank Bill and their group for taking over the parade and doing such a great job with this whole new version and view of it. I look forward to the community getting involved and everybody jumping in. I myself will, and Bill knows, $10,000 is a small part of what they have to do now with all the new stuff the county is recommending for them. So get your groups involved, help raise money for it. They still have a long way to go when it comes to fundraising for the events. That goes for the rodeo, that goes for the Optimist, for all the events. You know, if everybody in the community that had an opinion gave $100, we wouldn't have any financial issues. just so you know. That's my personal. I'll pledge my personal right now to the parade, because you know I kind of pushed it on Bill this year. I'm going to put my $100 in, so that if everybody else wants to meet that, then that's great. Second of all, as A1 Irrigation, April 16th we have our Customer Appreciation Day. We invite all you guys, all the groups, all businesses in town to come out and set up a tent, promote your business, your group, your charity, whatever it might be. It's our way of giving back. We do about 600 lunches in 2 hours that day. We give out 500-600 prizes. We should have about 25 to 30 of our vendors there, along with hopefully about 50 businesses or groups. So feel free to come out and use our facility to promote yourselves.
What's the date again?
April 16th.
Okay.
You need to be there.
You let us know so we make sure we got plenty of room. We're going to use our big barn in the back. If you've ever been to that, there's plenty of room there. We have the fire departments come out with the flags and all kinds of stuff. And CDF, everybody comes out and does their promoting their groups. Please come out and enjoy it. We welcome everybody.
Thanks, Jordan. Next, Billy, are you going to talk again?
Yeah, I just want to go back into what I was saying with the rodeo being a nonprofit. The big hurdle we have this year is Claremont used to give us light standards, and that's how we lit the arena. The festival uses them, we use them. They're balking this year, so we haven't got a confirmation that they're gonna provide them, but that's what we're after right now. If anybody knows anybody with light standards or can help out financially so that we can rent them, that would be a big help for us. Again, it does go back to our community. On another note with Pasture Trope and the name change as one of the events that's actually a Western event, I just want to let you know that we give you our support. I think it's a good idea. I think it's about time we changed it. So I just want to let them, as a Western theme, I think it's a great idea. And I think that the rodeo and I think the vaqueros are on board, and I think we need to step forward into the next generation. Thank you.
Okay, Marcia, you're up.
Well, first of all, Pastor Troke, you are doing a dynamite job and a great presentation. Let's give him another. Done. And Doug, would you like to speak, please, on that The cleanup of the park and working with what you've accomplished so far. I was gonna talk about it, but you know more, and you're the boss.
Well, I have, up in Warner Springs, there's a camp up there, and I have some people coming down, and they're gonna clean up Adams Park. And it was good to hear all these groups. Everybody is using the community center, Adams Park, Star Valley Park, which is off Vesper, that's what it's called. And one of the things, we kind of struggle with funds, but the Optimist has donated some money, and the Cosmic Solar is helping us get some lights for the community center, so we don't have to rent lights. I'm kind of struggling with the county Parks Department on getting funding for the lighting. There's developer funds have strings attached, which it has to be an active play area as opposed to putting up lights to help out. Western Days, I'm gonna have a farmer's market anyhow. I'm working around that with some gray areas. I don't know if everybody, I'm gonna put a playground in front of the community center way at the road and remove the sign, put up a new sign. So that's a way of me getting the funds for the lights, so.
It's all how you write it.
Yeah, I'm working the system, and I've been doing it since I was 17. Anyhow, so there's gonna be some cleanup at Adams Park, and Marcia's trying to get a cleanup day that looks like it's gonna be in May, maybe, or
We
something
wanna
like
get
that.
it done now before the picnic.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta
We'll
live
have
first
that.
class.
And I'm getting a new caretaker at the park that'll help clean things up.
Good.
Doug, can I ask you about the farmer's market? We've had some people ask us, email us. Do you know where we are with that? Is it?
Yeah, there were some regulations that, we have a gentleman that's spearheading that, and Jose Duran. And he had to go through the county, go through the farm bureau, and they needed some things, maps, they had to check out the kitchen, restrooms, all those type of things that he had to go through. We had to write some letters to the farm bureau, to the county, so it's just taking the health department got involved. So he's planning on getting it going in, I think in March, he said, so he's about there.
All right, good, great. We look forward to it.
I have one thing.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
We did get some, and I think you probably saw it in the paper, a very generous donation from Solar, Cosmic Solar panels for $4,000, and that really has helped us with it, and we appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Tom Stinson from Marie Waldron's office.
Thank you. Just want to mention again, I think I've mentioned this before. Excuse me, our office is at 5th and Orange in Escondido. And if you have any problem with a state agency, give us a call. We're real good at cutting through red tape. We've had people call us with problems going on for weeks or months, and one phone call gets taken care of because we have liaisons at the highest level. They're trained to resolve issues. They're not the same people you've been dealing with. If you're bucking up against the state law, we can't change that. We can't change federal law. We can't override a court order. But if you have problems, just red tape type issues, we can usually help you.
Does.
Don't use it.
You said state, not
If
county.
it's not a state issue, if it's county or city or something, we can't help directly, but we can usually point you in the right direction. Get with somebody.
What are you doing this afternoon?
Actually, I'm driving to Orange County.
Okay, and next up, Julie, I believe you're working for doing the JAG auction for Guys and Foundation.
Yes. First off, thanks, Bill, great presentation, and I love the thought that all of you guys have put into integrating all the different groups, because teamwork is what it's about, so great job.
When the
Again.
dogs start barking, guys, when the dogs start barking, because, you know, it's changed, and dogs will bark, right? And please, help the dog, give the dog a bone or something.
JAG auction is coming up April 2nd, and it is the 18th year. Started when the school started to raise much needed funds for for the various groups and organizations. All of those groups have the opportunity to participate by two ways to raise funds. One, selling a ticket, two, entrance to it, it's $10, $15 at the door, and the other way is getting auction items. So if any of you, we usually have we've had anywhere from 400 to 700 people attend the auction, and we usually have about 400 to 700 auction items to auction off. You usually get a great deal. Bill has been our MC for several years too, and it's a great event. It's very fun, and lots of money. We raise anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000.
So file your taxes early, get your refund, and then go to the.
So that goes directly to those groups to enhance their particular, whether it's ag or band or HOSA or athletics. So please come and join us April 2nd, 6 p.m. at the high school gym. Thank you.
Thanks, Jill. Okay, and Judith from Cosmic Solar.
You don't know who I am now. I'm just gonna say something really quick about Cosmic Solar we have a new announcement that, and it's gonna be in DC Happenings, so maybe you can read the details there, but we were just at a SunPower conference in Arizona, and we have been a SunPower dealer for residential for many years, and now we have become a commercial also. So we can give a little better deals on commercial solar systems, so we also have good referral fees, so if you know anyone. And then I'd like to thank the Ridgeview Church for taking the parade. When I read about that there was a need, I got worried because we've been in the parade for 5 years. We have our 5 trophies. And my daughter treats it like a Hollywood production. Yeah. So and standing tall is a very good theme because every year my husband says, we're going to electrocute the whole audience. It's too tall. Hit the electric one. So that's why we had a little bit below. And this year it's going to be the same. And I would just like to say that I had written you a check, and when we saw when we saw that Rincon Indians contributed, I was like, well, we'll send it anyway. You might need a little help.
Yeah, we do need some help. That'd be great.
So I'd like to throw the baton out there and challenge you all to beat us this year.
Next is Brandon from Humboldt Valley Insurance.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Brandon with PDI, Humboldt Valley Insurance. We've been here the agency's been here for 40 years, so we're always trying to be a part of the community and help any way that we can. I think as Pastor Truck mentioned, being here so long, you see a lot of change, and a lot of that sense of community has left. So, we don't like the conversation, so we're trying to change it and always be a part of the community ourselves. And it's just a great community to be in, and we just want to keep seeing that move forward. So thank you all, because you all are all the doers here in town and making it all happen. So it's a pleasure to be a part of you all. Thank you.
You're going to have a float, right?
I have my Snoopy in the parade every year, so
Try and beat
we'll be back.
Cosmic. Yeah.
And last but not least, I kind of missed Tony on the front page, but I knew he was here for this, for the Irish stew cook-off.
Did you have something before? Go ahead.
This past Sunday I got up and I talked about community spirit building as an issue within a specific project at St. Stephen's. But it really is an issue, okay? With social media, your kids are just as likely to be interacting with someone in Bulgaria or Serbia, okay, as they are with the kid 2 houses down, okay? And so as a community, this is a real issue, okay? This is a real fun community event. You're all invited, please come. We do have an auction, so if you feel in a generous mood, or you would like auction baskets and items to auction off. One of the programs that gets funded out of this thing is a scholarship that is targeted specifically at people that are kids that are homeschooled or use alternative schools. Okay, we think that's a population that perhaps isn't getting all the
Yeah.
scholarship money that perhaps they deserve. So we've been promoting it through Valley Center Happenings, but if you know of a neighbor or a family that is homeschooling their kids and this kid is graduating this year, please make him aware of the scholarship and have him apply for that, okay?
But you have other scholarships too, right?
9 days from now, I think.
Yeah, so, yeah, Thursday, it'll be.
Thursday, on St. Patrick's Day. I've got little reminder slips. Some of us at our age are getting memory challenged. If you have a customer-facing thing, I can give you more so you can hand them out.
Thanks, Tony. Okay, that's.
Wait, Ron.
Oh, Ron, I'm sorry, yeah.
As most of you know, 3 times a year we smoke hams in front of Fat Ivers. We'll start selling them on the 16th of March for Easter. So if you haven't tried one of our hams, it's $35 for half and $70 for whole. Haven't heard any complaints so far, and I've been a smoker for almost 20 years, so come out and enjoy it.
Stuart has something else.
I just got one real quick thing. I just on the whole mayor's race. I see all the a lot of the groups here, a lot of different groups here. Right now, we have 3 people running in the mayor's race. I know Optimus doesn't have anybody yet. I know the fire department doesn't have anybody yet. I know that the Rotary doesn't have anybody yet. Get somebody involved so that when we have this community picnic, it brings groups from everybody involved. It's all fundraisers. It's all money raisers for your groups. So try to get out there, and it could be any group. It doesn't matter. It's all about the fun.
Is Francis allowed in the park?
Sure.
Francis.
Talk to Doug.
Needs a glass of milk.
Yeah, I won't volunteer.
Okay, I just want to say, so next month for April, Joe Napier is going to be our guest speaker from Valley Center Fire. May is Gary Arad from Valley Center Municipal Water District. I think he's going to talk about our conservation into the summer and maybe other stuff, maybe the sewer or whatever. And then rounding out into June is Tom Stinson, who just spoke from Marie Waldron's office. And you may maybe go into more detail how their office can help with a lot of the red tape that we go through up here in events and other things. So that's up until June, and then again we're July and August, so we'll start in September again. So that's our upcoming guest speakers. And Trina and I, we really appreciate everybody coming and being part of this, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.